Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 4th of September, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index. Of course, US markets were closed yesterday for Labor Day, so markets generally were fairly quiet with the US closed. Dollar this morning, though, has kicked up, so we're seeing that dollar strength returning. Quite a lot of emerging markets starting to struggle. Obviously, we're seeing problems in Argentina, Turkey. Venezuela terrible, and Brazil starting to see the signs of emerging markets looking weaker, and that is driving quite a lot of sentiment towards the dollar. So dollar strength continuing to be a theme here, and we're seeing that short-term kick up there, and quite a few upside targets still to play for. We came back and sort of found support, so looking bullish really across the board. That means, of course, the euro is falling this morning. So we're seeing that falling back to lows that we saw a couple of weeks ago, and pushing lower, still bearish below the cloud on the short term, having found resistance there. Against the yen, dollar looking strong here as well, and sterling also looking weaker against that stronger dollar. Sterling against the euro, though, just holding on. It did turn a little bit weaker yesterday. This 110 level pretty critical now for sterling, which we tested last week. So keep an eye out for that. We do have downside targets, of course, to below those levels, 108.65, 109, 109.60. So it does look like this 110 level is going to come under some pressure and probably break. Looking against the Swiss franc, sterling also weaker there, bearish below the cloud, and against the Aussie dollar, sterling just weakening a little bit there as well. Bitcoin is up this morning, sitting at $7,300. Actually starting to look more bullish on the medium-term chart there, just coming through on the cloud. So Bitcoin starting to turn a corner here, could be quite interesting. A lot of work still to do on that long-term chart, of course, to turn very bullish again. But sitting at $7,300 and with good upside targets, Bitcoin looking better. The S&P 500 index we're seeing, of course, was shut yesterday, so we are where we were on Friday, still looking pretty bullish in all three time frames, and the Nasdaq had quite a strong showing on Friday as well. If we look at the futures, the S&P future is up about 1/3% this morning, so it does suggest that the US market will open higher. Nasdaq up 0.2%. Has been fairly flat, the future, the last few days, so it'll be interesting to see. The UK market had quite a good showing yesterday. Little change this morning, but still bearish on the short term, and the medium term chart is worrying there for the UK market. And UK mid caps also just struggling a little bit, but not looking as bad as the blue chips. The DAX in Germany is down this morning and still looking weak on that medium-term chart, so that is a little bit of a worry. And the CAC Current, as you might expect, a similar picture. Tokyo overnight was down slightly. The Hang Seng Index was actually up 1%, so that's looking stronger, and that short-term chart looking much better. China also just looking a little bit better on that short-term chart now, but still bearish on those medium and long-term charts. The Indian market holding on quite strongly there. It was down slightly overnight, but still bullish on all three time frames. And the Aussie market also just pulling back there, down at about 1/3%. Brent crude looking much stronger this morning, kicking up, which is unusual on that dollar strength, but it is kicking up higher. Where it's 78.78, so that's not much work to do to get to $80 now. We've got targets to 85, $86, so on the medium-term chart. Long-term chart targets we're still short of, but it is looking strong on the medium and short-term charts, no question. And if we look at WTI, similar picture here, kicking up this morning as well. So looking much stronger there too. US nat gas just struggling. It's been at this 286 level for ages, so really just struggling to break higher there. Gold is down this morning on that stronger dollar, down about 0.5%, and that's taking us short-term bearish. And silver also on that stronger dollar, also falling. US 10-year yield sitting at 288. Just struggling to break back above that 3% level and stay there. Tech stocks had a very strong showing on Friday. And if we just look at stocks like Amazon, Apple up over 1%, Amazon also up strongly, now over that $2,000 mark, up 0.5%. So we are seeing really the tech market pushing quite higher. Of course, we need to see what happens today when the markets open, but it looks like we're going to open for a stronger opening in the US. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.